This is JC. This is chapter 9B. Well, this was it then. She had her orders and she had the killer. She wondered what the voice would have said or done if she had just refused to follow his instructions and told him to get someone else. A small shudder ran through her. She considered that idea. No, that wasn't an option. She thought of what had happened to her car and to Billy's house because of much more minor transgressions. Besides, she knew the killer needed to be brought to justice, and somehow it seemed right that she have a hand in it. Anne wondered aloud. I guess it's all in the timing, she said to herself. But how could this be happening the way it was? Who the hell was this person? The voice she listened to and was afraid to question. And how does he know everything about everything? How could he? Her mind went back to the progression of the latest set of circumstances that had to do with the murder of the mayor. They couldn't be just coincidences linked mysteriously somehow together. No, this is all happening according to some master plan, known only to God and the voice. Otherwise, how could the police seminar, to which she had to attend this Friday, and the voice's instruction to involve Gerald Prosser in her confrontation with Tom Watson, have happened in the order they did? She was sure Prosser would attend the seminar, he being the Enquirer's top crime reporter. But how could the voice know ahead of time? And was it just coincidence that the voice took only 2 weeks to come to his conclusion this time, instead of 3.5 weeks as he had the first time, and the 4 weeks that he had indicated when they assigned the case to Billy Thompson? Well, she may as well quit worrying about it and get the show on the road. It was a couple of days yet before the seminar starts, and Anne decided to make a couple of calls. She was pretty sure Prosser would be at the seminar, but it wouldn't hurt to check and be absolutely sure. She looked up the phone number of the Enquirer and dialed it. The phone rang twice and was answered by a receptionist. She asked for Gerald Prosser and was put on hold. In a second, the receptionist returned and asked who she was. "This is Detective Barton," she replied. There was a pause, and the reception asked what her business was with Mr. Prosser. "My business with Mr. Prosser is none of yours," Anne replied brusquely. "Now, if he isn't in, put me through to the editor." "Hold on," said the receptionist. In a moment, a man said, "This is Gerald Prosser. May I help you?" "Mr. Prosser, this is Detective Ann Barton of the Tulsa City Police Department. I'm scheduled to attend a crime seminar in Philadelphia on Friday, and I wondered if you plan to attend." "Detective Ann Barton." He put emphasis on Ann. "Of course. How nice to hear from you. Sorry about my secretary giving you the runaround. I'm expecting another call I really don't want to accept." "From a different Detective Barton?" Ann asked curtly. "No. Now, you want to know if I'll be at the seminar?" "Yes, I will. May I assume that you are going as well?" "Yes, I just got my orders today." Ann waited for a response. She got none, so she went on. "I'll be staying at the Fremont Hotel. I understand that's where the seminar will be held." Gerald Prosser was slightly taken aback by that disclosure. He wondered why she told him where she was staying. "Yes, it is," said Prosser. "It has a nice big conference room." "Now, why are you telling me where you'll be staying?" he asked. "What's on your mind?" Anne felt her face redden slightly. Why had she blurted that out so abruptly? It was too late now, though, so she must make the best of it. "I need to tell you something in the strictest confidence. I need to talk to you after the seminar, and I want to know for sure you would be there. If I tell you something, will you keep it confidential? I have to know for sure. It's important." Gerald Prosser had thought about the lady detective on occasion and wondered again how she really had solved the Abbott murder case. He knew there was more to it than she was willing to tell. He also thought about her strange green eyes with the brown flecks in them. It had annoyed him to entertain any thoughts of her when he assumed she probably hadn't thought about him at all. Had he been wrong? "If it's important, I can keep a secret, but first I need to know what it's about." Anne hesitated. "No, if you can't promise to keep it to yourself, no questions asked, then forget it. I'll find someone else." Prosser knew he couldn't let that happen. "Wait," he said quickly. "All right, I promise to keep this a secret. I won't even mention you called today. if that's what you want. That's the way it has to be, Ann said. I'll contact you Friday at the seminar. And Ann hung up the telephone. What in hell is going on? Prosser asked himself. What is she up to, and why did she call me? Prosser decided to make a call and see what he could find out. He spoke into an intercom and told his secretary to get the Fremont Hotel. In a second, the phone buzzed and a light flashed on line 2. He picked up the phone and pressed a button and spoke into the receiver. A voice on the other end said, Fremont Hotel, this is Anita. May I help you? Yes, said Gerald Prosser. Can you tell me what room Detective Ann Barton will be staying in Thursday and Friday, and if an adjoining room will be available? There's a short pause, and the clerk said, yes, that will be room 212, and room 210 will be available. Prosser said, this is Gerald Prosser. I'd like to reserve room 210 for those same days. Would you like a card number? That won't be necessary, Mr. Prosser. I know you, the clerk answered. That room is available, and I'll hold it for you, and you can give me your card when you get here, or I can bill it to the newspaper. You know me? Asked Prosser. Of course I do. Everyone who follows the news knows you, she added. All right, thanks, Anita. I'll be in Thursday afternoon, said the reporter, and he hung up the telephone. Back in Tulsa City, Ann Barton was sitting at her desk, scribbling on a sheet of typing paper. She was thinking about what she needed to do before going to Philadelphia for the seminar. It worried her some that members of the press would be there. She knew that she now had to let B.J. Lassiter, the editor of the local newspaper, know that press members would be invited. First, she needed to check and make sure the press presence wouldn't be by invitation only. Ann walked to the chief's office door and knocked. He said to come in, and she walked through the door and stopped in front of his desk. Chief, she said, is the press invited to the seminar? Lassiter asked me, and I told him I thought not. I think I should let him know for sure. Yes, there'll be reporters there. Do you want me to call him? The chief asked. No, thanks, I'll do it, Ann answered, and she left his office. Back at her desk, Ann picked up the phone and dialed the number of the Tulsa City Crier. The ring was answered immediately, and a voice said, this is the Crier, Lassiter here, may I help you? BJ, this is Ann Barton. I wanted to let you know that there will be reporters at the police seminar. Well, thank you, Detective, answered Lassiter. I'm glad to hear that. Then I'll be there. It should be interesting. Maybe I can get a big city story to tell to my readers. There was a pause, then Lassiter asked, how's the investigation of the mayor's death coming? We're working on it, Ann responded. Are there any new leads I can report? Asked the reporter. Not yet, said Ann. I'll let you know when we come up with something. Okay, said Lassiter. See you at the seminar. Ann thought about the task that had been assigned to her by the voice of collecting credit card receipts, cleaning receipts, and the like of everyone involved with the mayor at the time of his untimely demise. She wondered if a day and a half would be ample time to do this. She decided it would. She knocked once more on the door to the chief's office and was told to enter. He looked at her quizzically. Hello, Detective, he said. What's troubling you? Ann reddened slightly and said, do I look troubled? It's the second time this morning you've been in here. I would think so, he responded. What do you need? I have a couple of ideas about the mayor's murder, she said. I'd like to check out some things that have been bothering me about it, and I need to be able to do it on my own. It'll take the time between now and when I have to leave for the seminar. I don't think you're going to tell me what it is you'll be checking, said the chief. That's right. I don't want anyone besides you to know what I'm doing, said Ann. I'll fill you in when I get back from the seminar. I might have something to tell you by then, or a while after I get back. I'm not sure just how long it'll be, but it won't be longer than a couple of weeks. How could I say no, said the chief. Leave when you get ready. I won't mention this to anyone. The chief picked up a pencil and began writing on a scrap of paper, and Ann left his office. The next day and a half was full and hectic. Detective Ann Barton went about calling credit card companies and copying the results of the credit card activities of everyone around the mayor. That included all the police officers and others. She also collected cleaning bills and checked cell phone calls made by everyone involved. By the end of a day and a half of police work, she knew all about just about everyone, and by the end of the day and a half of police work, she was ready to leave for the seminar. As a matter of fact, she was more than ready. She actually was looking forward to it. Now, this is JC, and this concludes Chapter 9. Thank you very much. See you next chapter.